Welcome everyone to the Things Around 8. Dear friends, in this video we will talk about the German intention to shoot down Russian drones and missiles over Ukraine using fire from NATO member countries and why Russia considers this a formal declaration of war. In a rare show of unity between the government and the opposition in Germany, parliamentarians from parties inside and outside the government agreed that, under certain circumstances, Germany and other NATO members should intercept and shoot down member countries' alliance, Russian drones and missiles flying over the western Ukrainian region. These statements were made by parliamentarians from the Green Party and the Free Democrats, who are part of the government base, and also by parliamentarians from the Christian Democratic Union, which is part of the opposition, who agreed with something that until very recently was seen as unthinkable by NATO. According to these German parliamentarians, given the increasing intensity of Russian airstrikes, which is forcing many member countries of the alliance to send large quantities of batteries and anti-aircraft missiles to Ukraine, these countries should operate these batteries themselves, but from NATO territory, such as Poland and Romania. For these parliamentarians, this would allow Ukraine to concentrate its current defenses in more critical areas such as Kiev, Kharkiv and Donetsk, leaving the air defense of the entire eastern portion of Ukraine in the hands of NATO. Roderich Kisswetter, from the Christian Democratic Union, cited as an example what was done in Israel, when the United States, United Kingdom, France and Jordan intercepted Iranian missiles and drones launched at targets inside Israel. For this German parliamentarian, if this was done there, it can also be done in Ukraine. This idea is, of course, great for Ukraine, but terrible for Russia, with sources linked to the Kremlin saying that if something like this is done, it will be seen by Moscow as a formal declaration of war. If, for Russia, the mere supply of weapons and ammunition from NATO for the defense of Ukraine is already seen as unacceptable, imagine NATO itself intercepting Russian missiles and drones flying over Ukrainian airspace. Not only would it be unacceptable, it would be an authentic declaration of war, and the reason for this is quite easy to understand. Right now, with the way air defenses are deployed inside Ukrainian territory, Russia is free to target them in its attacks, trying to destroy as many of them as possible. However, if these defenses are deployed on NATO territory, such as Poland and Romania, Russia will necessarily have to attack alliance territory, violating alliance airspace and killing and injuring alliance soldiers. In this scenario, as these soldiers were not directly attacking Russia, limiting themselves to defensive actions against unmanned Russian aerial assets such as missiles and drones, a Russian attack directly against air batteries in Poland and Romania could be interpreted as an attack foreigner against members of the alliance. This could lead these countries to activate Article 5, which says that an attack against one member is an attack against all members. Something that, as you can well imagine, would result in an open war between Russia and all 32 NATO member countries. But despite this agreement between German government and opposition parliamentarians, Washington, which represents the central driving force of the alliance, has already made it very clear that it has no intention of actively participating in the fighting inside Ukraine. In other words, the Pentagon intends to continue as it is, limiting itself to providing weapons and ammunition for the Ukrainians to defend themselves. Poland, which in this German plan would be the centerpiece, as the batteries would be operated from its territory, gave mixed signals, with some parliamentarians from the government base stating that it is an idea that should be considered in the future, but making it clear that, at this time, this is not under discussion. Due to all the implications and serious consequences that can be expected, this is an idea that is very unlikely to be applied in practice. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news.